Hello again, YouTube. For me, this year's journey to the Manx Grand Prix didn't start particularly well. The first couple of hours of the journey were undertaken in darkness, stormy winds and torrential rain. By the time the sun came up, the rain had abated somewhat, but the blustery conditions continued for the entire journey to Liverpool. Once at Liverpool, I was pleased to see that, as per a couple of previous videos I'd made, we, as a motorcycling group, demonstrate admirably that you can tour on just about anything. The range of vehicles on display, waiting to get on the ferry, was as diverse as it's ever been. I've made the crossing from Liverpool to Douglas numerous times, but normally from a pierhead just up the road. They have recently opened a nice brand new one, which was to prove, well, somewhat disconcerting. The weather was, as I say, blustery, and at this nice new dock the boat was pitching and yawing one way and the gangplank was pitching and yawing another way. And the loading of vehicles was perilous, to say the least. Indeed, some way through the process, vehicle loading was suspended. We then had a bit of a wait on our hands as, basically waited for the weather to improve. Initially that was going to be slack water, which was a couple of hours hence, but it turned out to be slightly longer than that. But eventually it was deemed safe enough to continue, and so the remainder of the vehicles were loaded and we set off across the Irish Sea towards Douglas. I had hoped to catch a bit of the action on Friday, but with all the delays and whatnot, that wasn't to be. Still, I shouldn't complain really. I mean, a lot of people have had it far worse than I had. I mean, I'd been delayed a matter of hours, and some people have been delayed a matter of days. And let's not forget, of course, tragedy had already struck the island before I arrived. But Saturday was a beautiful, bright, blue-skied day, and it was time to have a wander about through the parking and the paddock and whatnot, and see what was what in the preamble to what hopefully was going to be a wonderful day. Of course, it wasn't to be. There was one lap of warm-up. The first race got underway, one lap, and then there was an incident, and you couldn't make up what happened next.
Attention paddock. Guys, we're going to have to put in a 30-minute delay to roads closing, so roads will now close at 11 o'clock, and that may be subject to change. We have a burst water main at Uni Mills, so we need to treat that. So there is a burst water main at Uni Mills. So we are delaying road closure for 30 minutes. The roads will now close at 11 o'clock, and that is subject to change. Thank you. Control out.
You couldn't write the script for this year, I tell you.
That 30 minutes turned out to be very optimistic, as it was extended and extended until eventually that was Saturday done. So nothing else to do but wander around and enjoy all the things associated with the racing, just no actual racing.
The Yamahas are ready to run. The ace riders for Yamaha are Phil Reed and Bill Ivey. Reed was the 250cc class world champion in 1964 and 1965. Ivey was the 125cc world champion in 1967. The 250cc class race is about to start. Number 10 Reed and number 21 Ivy, both Yamaha drivers, get off to a good start. They are expected to set good records in the race. The two Yamaha riders, each on a new Autolube 5-port 4-cylinder machine, outstripped the forerunners in the first half of the first lap to take the leadership in the race.
By the end of Saturday, 3 days of practice and qualifying had been cancelled. The remainder of it had been thrown into complete turmoil with the delays. So much so that I think it was pretty much understood that nobody needed to fret about qualifying. They were all in. But people were suffering from a lack of track time. We had, by close of play Saturday, had 1 warm-up lap and 1 lap of racing. At one point there was talk of pushing the racing into Sunday, but with other stuff going on and an unfavourable weather forecast, that wasn't to happen. It was to be pushed into Monday, and we were all ready for a 9:30 start Monday morning. We had to keep our fingers crossed.